Should be up.
What's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Tuesday. Wow, I almost said Monday, the 15th of the 3rd. And today we're
It is
talking
Monday
about,
for everyone else in the world.
yeah, that's right. Today we're talking about the importance of weightlifting setup. Of course, we refer to big, heavy lifts like the bench press, the deadlift, the squat. And before we get started, before we dive in case we haven't met, my name is Yanni Burmeister. To my left, your left, my right is my brother Rad Burmeister. We don't often get him on these daily shows, so we're graced. And below us is Richard the Rig Lillies. Of
You on,
course,
everybody?
we are Unity Gym and the Unify Movement System. We turn driven people just like yourself into strong, flexible, fit athletes, and we're famous for the athletic transformation. Now, before we get started, everyone on YouTube, please, please, please smash that like button, tear it apart, help us hack the algorithm and get this useful content in front of more people. And if you do catch the live stream, make sure you comment and let us know who you are, where you're tuning in from. And of course, always, we want to encourage you to jump over and search for UMS Movement Mastermind on Facebook. Join the group. It's a free group and you will get so much cool stuff, free flexibility routines, free warm-up routines that we use in UMS. And of course, the opportunity to work with Rad for 5 days complimentary in our famous, it is now famous because so many people talk about it, the 5-day flexibility challenge. So get yourself over there. The first step is to be part of the UMS Movement Mastermind Facebook group. How are you, boys?
Good.
Yeah, I'm good. Excited. It's a good topic. A lot of people mess this up. And really, at the end of the day, your entire set of weightlifting is really the success of it is set by the setup. If the setup is incorrect, then the success of that set is it's not going to be successful. It's going to be an unsuccessful set. And if you have unsuccessful sets of weightlifting, then you're ineffectively weightlifting. You're not doing it right, and that means you're not going to get the results that you want. So the setup is a huge important. And something that I never really got my head around the importance of until when we had Sebastian Oreb, aka Australian Strength Coach, a great friend of ours, when he was working at Unity Gym, and he was training his clients out of there. And we used to see the amount of focus that went into the setup of bench pressing, squatting, deadlifting, because when you're lifting that much weight, an incorrect setup is the difference between either getting the lift or missing it in powerlifting. And so, once we understood this, or I understood it, I should say, and started implementing it, you see massive increases in strength. And then when you understand it and you're lifting maximally, if you mess up a set, you can almost really, most of the time, you can relate it back to the setup and say, oh man, I really stuffed that setup up for that set.
Well, let's this discussion, as usual, comes from a really great coaching call yesterday where we gave some critique, technique cueing, and feedback to one of our legendary tribe members who actually used to be a member of Unity Gym here in North Sydney. So why don't have we got a clip from yesterday's coaching call, Richie, to show?
Yeah, I'll bring it up now.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's have a look at your bench press here. So this is beautiful. Feet under the butt, nice arch. Shoulders are looking like they're pulled down well. So you want me to pause it there?
No, that's good. Yeah. So the very first thing, it's a little bit difficult and tricky to see here, but I'd actually like to see that bench further under the barbell. By that, I mean, from this angle, it looks like his eye line is quite a long way in front, and quite a long way to me is an inch or two in front of the rack position, which would mean that he's got to travel. And you can see at the top there how far the barbell is off the rack. Now, when you're lifting at the weight that he's lifting of here, obviously it's not a huge challenge for Scott to unrack and rack the bar. But when you're lifting hundreds of kilos, I'd probably tear a rotator cuff. Literally.
Yeah, it's like the squat. I think we were talking about this the other day with the squat walkout. You don't want too many of those steps from the rack because it's very energy wasting, but it also you lose your tightness the more you have to move. So
That's what I was just about to get to. To reach to grab that bar and pull it forward, you've lost the shoulder position now. There's just very little way that you can keep your shoulders depressed and the shoulder blades in your back pocket and then reach and unrack a bar. Like for me, it's a game of millimeters, you know? And so what I'd just like to encourage, although from one perspective, it looks really good. He's got a great arch, everything there. That positioning can really throw you out. And it's not actually your strength that's plateauing. It's the fact that every time you reach for the bar, you lose the shoulder position and therefore you give away all of that really important structure that we're trying to reinforce. Scott's saying, I thought this after seeing the footage. Yeah, that's another really great reason why it's so important to film yourself, because you just never know.
Scott, you can unmute yourself. This is the whole reason why we're doing these Zoom calls, brother. You can talk to us while we're coaching you here, mate. So if you want to.
Yeah, I thought that as soon as I saw that footage, and that just happened to be the last bit. I don't know why. Usually I have it way further in, and where my ass is nearly hanging off the bench.
Yeah, good.
I did that. Similar with the squatting the other day. After looking at that, I was like, why did I just? Some days you just have a brain fart. As soon as you see it, you go, of course, that's silly.
Mate, look, this is the point. And what I encourage and what we're going to coach you guys on constantly is to make the workouts as efficient as possible. And that's not just when you're looking at the
All right, we're back. But I don't know where Rat is.
We've lost Rat.
Okay.
So
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. What I want to reinforce is that the setup, and this is one of the things that we coach our tribe, is that every single warm-up rep, every single time you climb under the bar, whether it's for a squat, whether it's for a deadlift, well, you're not under the bar for a deadlift, but a bench press, an overhead press, even a pull-up, the setup is rehearsed. Meaning it's like you're rehearsing something that you have to do exactly the same every single time. It doesn't matter whether it's 10 kilos or 100 kilos. You approach the bar the same way. You set up the same way. You position your body the same way. Because what's happening there is you're strengthening those neurons, those neurological pathways, that habit, that ritual. And then when it comes time to do your heavy lift, you don't want to have to burn one single calorie of brain function thinking about those things. You want them to be completely autonomous, so that when you climb under there's very little risk that you hurt yourself, you know. And to give you an example, I've been experimenting with a slightly different technique in bench pressing, where I'm trying to hold my elbows down a little bit further than I've used to done in the past. And yesterday was the first time I attempted that technique at a quite a heavy weight. And I've, my body just didn't like it. And I ended up getting a really nasty shoulder spasm that I'm still carrying today. It feels like maybe my supraspinatus, one of my rotator cuff tendons. And it's frustrating. And this is just reinforcing this notion that it's so important that you get the setups right in these lifts. I think it's even more important in the squat and the deadlift, because there's a lot more risk. There's more joints moving. It's a more complex movement pattern. And so the risk is higher if you get things wrong. What do you boys have to add?
Yeah, no, it's I think you've done a really good job of covering it. I mean, look, there's a lot of people would have a lot of questions about this, right? But that's what we coach people for. And if you want to know more about this, jump on into our UMS Movement Mastermind group and ask questions so we can answer them for you. Speaking of questions,
post a video of your bench press setup, and we'll give you some feedback. Yeah. All right, guys. Morning, Diane. We need to jump in, and everyone catching on the live. We're going to jump into our UMS coaching group now and give them another daily dose of
their daily dose technique. Of coaching.
Yep. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take care.
Right, guys. Good day, everyone.
Just sit ups right.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.